Good. Yes, not too bad. Thank you, my friend. Uh,
Good.
could you just kick off by telling us how you came up with the idea for this fifth challenge?
Well, we tried to combine the other four, and I wanted something that allowed us more opportunities to meet with people from the M&D community and meet with people who really want to support this community too. So, actually, the 7K blocks really lends itself to connecting with people. Um, the runs have been brilliant, but if you're just running past people, it's a very, very different connection. It's a fleeting hello and a smile. So this was based around the second challenge we did when we went from Leicester to Leeds, albeit then incorporating the extra mile from last year, and then also moving around and shifting locations and trying to spread awareness and sort of show the M&D community how much we care about them, because there's no boundaries with M&D. It's everywhere. So we've had a lot of cities reach out to us and ask us to go there, which has been wonderful. And so that's pretty much how it was born. We feel like we've got a pretty good vehicle now for raising money and awareness. And this one is, like I said, it just allows more time and connections with people, which is, especially this time of year, we feel this is what it's all about. And we want to try and show people just how special the M&D community is.
Will you just explain how those 7K blocks work? Because there are some time constraints, aren't there?
Yeah, so every hour on the hour, we'll set off. Now, there's some complications in that on the first one because we set off at half past the hour. So, if you know what I mean, it was either every hour on half past the hour or every hour starting on the hour. So, we've got 60 minutes to run 7K. But whatever's left of that 60 minutes, we'll have us recovery time, refreshments. We'll have to meet the M&D community and people who come out and support. So, there's enough time to run at a decent pace, and obviously the quicker you run, the more rest you get. But we try and be smart with how we pace those, because over the course of a day, you take a fair bit out of you, and then obviously the stop-start nature of it has a different effect on you. So yeah, that's how they work. We did 24 of them a couple of years ago, which was interesting. But really looking forward to this one. I think the greatest thing I've taken from the challenges so far have been connecting with people from the M&D community, and I hope we get lots and lots of opportunities to do that this time.
You've just finished your speaking tour, haven't you? A very successful speaking tour. How tough has it been to have that alongside preparing for this?
Yeah, no, I haven't finished. I've got 2 more dates.
Have you
I've got
really?
I've got tonight and tomorrow night. It's been great, James. It's been I've really, really enjoyed it. It wasn't supposed to be this way. It was supposed to. I thought I could juggle two things at the same time, which would have been the running and my work with England. And then it was supposed to be the speaking tour and the running. But as things have panned out, I've had a couple of weeks of trying to do all three, which has meant something had to tweak and change, and that meant I had to tweak some of my training, because I couldn't possibly do that amount of training that I've been doing whilst trying to do two other things. So there's always a compromise. There's always some sacrifice in there. But the last 2 weeks have been pretty heavy, but I like being busy. It's probably been a bit too busy, mind. But I like being busy, and it's given me an opportunity to share some of the stories from the challenges. But also, we've had a lot of people from the M&D community come and support the speaking tour, and it's been wonderful to meet them.
It's obviously the first challenge since Rob's passing. Does that mean this has the potential for you to be the most emotional?
Yeah, I think it has the potential. I think there's a number of people will remember throughout this week. Clearly, Doddy when we run up in Scotland, Charlie Bird when we're over in Ireland, albeit we're in Northern Ireland. There's people wherever we're going. Anto Finnegan in Belfast. There's people connected with every city and town that we're going to. So we'll try and remember and support the families in those areas. But yeah, I think the fact that we run with the number 7 on our running vest again is vitally important. This was only ever put together because we were doing a little run for our little mate, and we're trying to raise a little bit of money, 4 years ago. So this has obviously changed since then, but I'll never go away from why it was set up and why we did what we did at the start, and that's still right at the heart of what we do now. And I think of Rob a lot, and I'll certainly think of him most steps of the way along this route. We'll share a lot of stories about him, we'll laugh about him, and I've no doubt he'll be with us in spirit.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. Just lastly from me, when you do finally run home for Christmas, what's on Kevin Sinfield's Christmas list this year?
I'm having a rest.
Just a rest.
Yeah, I'm having a rest.
No socks.
No socks. I've got enough socks coming from Oxon. We've got a load of Christmas socks coming, so looking forward to running them. I know I need the last 11 and a half weeks. I've pushed and pushed, and when you push for a period of time, there's likelihood you're going to break. So I know I'm probably right at the cusp of it now. So I'll be smart these next couple of days. I'm really looking forward to next week, and then I'm going to try and have a quietish December. I need to spend some time with my family. I need to see my wife and kids.
Good luck, mate. Good luck with those. Where are those next 2 speaking engagements?
Bradford and Keighley. So we're back up north.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with those, mate. Good luck with this challenge.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi, Kev. You all right? It's Gary here.
Hi, Gary.
Just sort of following on from how you fitted everything in. Talk me through the average day in life of Kevin Sinfield over the last month or so, with all your England stuff and your speaking tour stuff as well.
Gary, I don't want any sympathy with this. It's been my choice. No, it's and that's why it's probably better to share it after.
Oh, okay.
It's been heavy. It's meant a couple of hours sleep a night as opposed to having a good 6 to 9. But it's the choice I've made. So
yeah.
The things I'm involved in, I really enjoy doing. I'm delighted I'm staying with England. I'm passionate about it. I love doing the speaking tour, and how passionate I am about the running and the M&D community. So the 3 things I care a lot about, and I've just had to be smart the last couple of weeks. Just had to be a lot, you always think you're not doing enough running.
Yeah.
But I also understand that my legs will take me, but it's probably going to be this and a bit of what's in there that gets you through when you're in those tough moments. So I'm hoping it'd be worth every step, and it'd be worth every bit of anguish this last 11 and a half weeks has thrown at me.
Just a couple sort of to bring it more locally towards Silworth and everything. The penultimate leg of the whole thing is a bit of a gorilla from Waterhead to the Old Bell, isn't it? It's basically all uphill, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. There's no other. The locality. Is there another route? The other route. Well, the other route was to go to the Farrers a little bit earlier, but I've just felt this is supposed to be tough. And people who know the locality of Saddleworth and Oldham will know that you're on the last day. You're very close to the last leg, as you've just rightly said, and you've probably got the biggest hill and the biggest climb. So this was never meant to be easy, and it is what it is.
And what's the visit to Waterhead something you requested, or just a quirk of the route?
No, I requested it. There's the routes have been put together brilliantly by Tristan at Run for All. They've done a wonderful job. But specifically, there's been some areas that we've discussed. There's been like a smaller unit, if you like, who've discussed number of things along routes and locations. Tristan's done a wonderful job, but yeah, I wanted to go back to my community club. It means a lot to me. It's a place where I know they'll look after us. I know there'll be a warm welcome. There'll be a nice hot cup of coffee, I'm sure. So I look forward to going back there.
just sort of on a broader point, has what you've done with the challenge and everything sort of opened your eye to how big an issue this is across the country?
Yeah, absolutely. And more so than ever. There's more people being diagnosed than there's ever been. Now, some of that is the awareness. People are going to the doctors early, which is fantastic. But that means there's more families having to go through what the Burrows went through, and numerous other thousands and millions of families that have done for decades after decades. So we've got to keep trying to help. And if we look at the funding from the government, which is so important, that's purely for research, Gary. So, like, who looks after the human side? Who looks after the things that people really, really need, the care and support and love and respect? And even if we found a cure tomorrow, right, there's people that unfortunately will be too far down the journey that it won't be able to be reversed. So we've got to ensure we keep looking after everybody.
Cheers, Kev. I'll pass you over. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mark, do you want to go next?
Hi, Kev.
Hi, Mark.
Just a very quick one from me, Kev. I've seen various figures reported as to what you've raised in total, varying from 10 million up to 15. Is there a figure that's nearest, that's accurate?
It's probably one for Phil to answer. I think what gets pulled in, I think from the challenges alone, the 4 challenges we've done so far, we're in excess of 8 million, and that doesn't take into account any of the gift aid bits, because we never get a real indication of what's been able to be clawed back. And then the other sort of bits that are added on are a variety of different things. So money raised from the Rob Burrow Leeds Marathon, money raised from other 7-in-7 events that people have taken part in that have been inspired by Rob or what our team have been able to do. And then a combination of other fundraising events that has either been in Rob's name or tipping hat towards what our team have done. So Phil might be in a better position to answer this, but because I'm not all that sure, I think the numbers are less important to me. It is the fact that we've just got to keep trying to keep the till rolling and keep the awareness rolling, and try and change how people feel around the UK about the M&D community.
Yeah, Mark, just to clarify, it's nearly 10 million on the challenges, the 7-in-7 challenges over the last 4 years. And then fundraising inspired by Rob is in excess of 16 million, which includes the challenges. Obviously, Rob's inspires us.
One last one from me, Kev. Because you've been here before, are you expecting this to be easier on you, the physical and mental toll, or is it going to be harder because you're not getting younger?
Yeah, they don't get any easier. They just don't. The training's been brutal, and that's the bit people don't see. You know, I run all year, but the last 11 and a half weeks have been really, really difficult. And they need to be, because I can't expect to turn up on the start line and just be able to run it. People think at times that you're superhuman, and that's far, far from what this is. I've got to work really hard. I hate running. I don't even like running. And it wasn't a cross-country run at school. I played a sport that was based around intervals, and I'm asthmatic. So you pull all that together, and it's not a great combination. But yeah, I'm not expecting this is going to be a scrap. Like I said, I've tweaked my training the last couple of weeks, and you always have something you have to face along the week that you're not expecting, and that's what experience shows me, that something will go wrong at some point. And can we be good enough or tough enough to fight through it and ensure we get this done?
Best of luck, Kev. All the best, mate.
Thank you.
Richard, do you want to go next?
Yeah, cheers, Phil. Thanks, Kevin. You just mentioned you didn't enjoy running. That's a great inspiration for people out there who want to do something like you've done. What would be the message to those who don't have the physical fitness, who aren't as perhaps mentally strong as they think they are, to take on a challenge, not quite as extreme as yours, but they want to do something like you for their mate?
Yeah, Richard, I think the big thing amongst all this, and it's been the message we've tried to get across over the last few years, has been you don't have to run marathons, but we can all do a little bit. And what that little bit looks like is different for all of us. And that doesn't have to be just a little bit for MND. That can be a little bit for cancer. It can be a little bit for dementia. It can be a little bit for whatever illness people have a real affinity or relationship with. It could be just reaching out to someone who needs a hand over Christmas. So it's the little bits that matter. And if we all do a little bit, they add up to a massive bit. So if anyone was thinking of getting off the couch and doing a 5K, or getting off the couch and they want to do a marathon next year, they want to do Rob's marathon next year, so like it'll be the best thing you've ever done. It'd be brilliant. And if you're fundraising, you know, I found this out after the first challenge, and I don't mind admitting it. I know why I'm here now. I know why I'm here, and that's to try and help and support people in the MND community. And to realise that at 40, I think is pretty special. There's a real fine line between adversity and fulfillment. And I think through putting yourself through some brutal training, getting yourself ready for running 7 days, is the adversity bit. But at the end of it, there's a massive amount of fulfillment because you're helping people. And I think, you know, especially around this time of year, it's great to be doing it in the run up to Christmas because the importance of giving, and we all know what you get back, how you feel when you give something, and it's important to somebody and you make somebody smile. That's a big message through this as well. Like, just do a little bit, and we can all do a little bit.
Exactly. In the modern parlance, I guess, people finding their why, is that how important it is that you go out and do something, and it makes you, however hard it is, it will make you feel better in the end.
Yeah, I just think hard things, tough things are challenging because they bring some pain, or they make it uncomfortable, or it's asking you to do something you don't really want to do. And normally that's down to pain, or as humans, we want to take the easiest route. But, you know, when you're doing something like that for others and you put yourself through it and you make a bit of a sacrifice, I just think the rewards at the end of it are very, very special. And you know, is there a selfish element to that for the team for doing what we do? Yeah, of course there is, because it makes you feel good at the end of it. But it doesn't mean we should stop doing it. I think there's far more good that comes from it than not doing it. So we always have a choice. And thankfully, you know, I put the message out every year. Normally takes me a couple of weeks to get my head right after a challenge, but I put the message out, and the team respond within seconds that they want to go again. And it's the best team I've been involved in. So they're all brilliant.
That's great. Thanks a lot. All the best.
Thank you.
James, do you want to go next?
Hi, Kev.
Hi, James.
I just wonder, where does this rank in terms of difficulty compared to the other challenges you've done? And I mean, everyone looks at you from the outside. You come across as a superhuman being. How emotionally do you feel as you head into these challenges? Do you get nervous, scared?
Certainly get nervous. I think sort of worried about not completing. I have doubt like everybody else does. So, like I said before, no matter how much training you've done, it doesn't take away the nerves. It makes you feel like you've prepared well, but it doesn't take away the nerves and understanding that something can go wrong pretty quickly. You know, you stand on a curb and it goes the wrong way, and you hit a pothole, and it can all turn out to be a pretty tough run. So, yeah, there's certainly some nerves. I'm not nervous at the minute. I'm pretty relaxed. I'm not one who will sort of try and build this up before I get there. I'll wait until I get on the start line on Sunday morning, if I'm honest, and then I'll start to just get myself ready. And then in terms of how tough it is, I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure. They've all been very, very difficult in their own way. The effect that the running has on you over the course of a week is really difficult to prepare for, because you're not quite sure how your body's going to react at certain times. And then the weather plays a part. You know, we might get lucky and have a couple of mild days, but I suspect we'll get a load of rain, a mix of a load of rain and some pretty cold freezing days. So how we wrap up and look after ourselves, that plays a part. And then the fueling, if we get that wrong, you can end up in a hole pretty quickly. So my expectations are that it'll be the toughest one yet, but I'm probably in a better position next Saturday night to answer that question. But I have no doubt the team will have to draw on every ounce of support that we get and use that in the right way to fuel us. And right at the forefront of that will be the Burrow family and Rob.
And I find it really interesting you say you hate running. I can relate to that a hell of a lot. How many miles do you do a week to train for something like this?
I'm probably surprised. I don't do as many as what people think. I try and run a lot or little and often, but then within my training sort of schedule, I try and block a couple of days out. So I'll have a big 3 days on the bounce, and then I'll back off and I'll run consistently. Then I'll go for another big 3 days on the bounce. So, and then on top of that, especially when I'm in camp, you cover a lot of ground in camp because you're on the field with the lads and you're just doing a lot of moving around and steps. And before you know it, you might have covered 40, 50K in a day, and things are pretty heavy. So, but that's good. The plan through the training has always been to try and run or move on tired legs, to get used to going on tired legs. So, yeah, it's probably not what you think it'd be in terms of volume. It's just don't let myself have any real time off. If I'm tired, I've got to run, just to make sure that my legs are prepared.
Thank you, mate. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Alex, do you want to go next?
Morning, Kev. You've obviously done a number of these challenges now. Mentally, how do you prepare, and has that differed from the very first one to this one?
Yeah. Morning, first of all. Yeah, it has differed. I think the first one was really the unknown. And it was something beautiful about the first one because it was so raw. It was just put together very, very quickly, and yeah, it was brilliant. But I suppose I've got some experience now. I understand. I've run the 7K blocks before, albeit not over the course of a week. I've done it in one day, so I've got a feeling of what's coming. And then the total distance each day, I've done something similar, so I've got an idea of what's coming there. It's the combination of the two that we probably don't have, which is why it's different. And then the travel, clearly the travel throws up some difficulties. These ones were on feet a lot longer than we were last year. So the complication of having slightly more limited recovery time, plus then the travel. We think there's a couple of big coach journeys, a couple of flights in there over to Belfast and Belfast to Glasgow. So that's an added complication in it. So how we use that time is really, really important. Whereas on the first one, I came home after everyone and had sort of 20 hours to recover and turn myself around. This one's very, very different. So the great thing about this one is the time on the bus and the time we have together is being back in the team and the fun we have. So the camaraderie is really important for the group. But yeah, some of it's the unknown. But I would say I am quite agile with what's thrown at us. A late change, a late route change, or I can only control what I can control, and I'm at the start line every day. That's the slogan we've got, and give it everything I've got.
And with the start in mind, how are you feeling about beginning this latest challenge with thousands of Santas at the Santa Dash in Liverpool?
I think it's brilliant. I think it's really, really good. Thank the organisers for allowing us to be there in Liverpool. Liverpool's got really high numbers of MND. We found this out last year, and it was high on the list of somewhere we wanted to go. So clearly, there's two pretty famous football clubs there. It's to have 8,200 people dressed as Santa, and that we get to run alongside just makes it really, really special. And people in Liverpool are great. They've always been supportive of what we've tried to do. Obviously, the link with Stephen Darby and the family. We're really looking forward to starting there, and we're hoping a couple of famous guests join us at the start to wish us well. And yes, it's just a really good starting point for us.
Yeah. Thanks, Kev. Good luck.
Thank you.
Alistair?
Morning, Kev. I work for the BBC in the West Country. We're looking forward to seeing you on Monday when you go to Gloucester and down to Bristol. I wondered if you could just talk a little bit about why you chose that particular leg and some of the sort of members of the MND community in the West Country that you hope to be sort of touching base with along the way.
Yeah, well, Gloucester's always been on the agenda, clearly with Ed Slater. I've got a great friendship with him, and you may remember Ed came to meet us in Cardiff last year. We actually went to Cardiff initially because we thought Gloucester was going to play against Bristol in Cardiff, and it didn't happen that day, but actually Cardiff was great. But the reason we're going to Gloucester is Ed, and the support that Gloucester Rugby have given the MND community, I think, is really special. So, and then we go to Bristol, and there are a couple of clear reasons for Bristol. The first one's Marcus Stewart, who's become a good friend as well. Actually lives pretty close to us now up in Saddleworth. I know he moves around a bit, but he's got a house up here and done some wonderful work for the MND community himself. And Sid Lawrence. You know, we didn't know at the time when we planned Gloucester to Bristol that Sid had been diagnosed or was about to be diagnosed. So I think the fact we get to share this special day with Sid, spend some time with him, and for him to see the love and support that is out there for the MND community is really what I'm looking forward to watching, and watching his family feel that and see that. I think it'd be really special for him. So that's the reason we're going there. Clearly, there's some pretty good rugby clubs along the route as well, and some football clubs. And they've always been really kind to us when we've gone to rugby and football clubs, cricket grounds. They look after us. And I think that sort of sporting relationship is pretty strong, and different sports have come out and supported. So yeah, we look forward to hopefully seeing a couple of Bristol Bears boys, worked a couple at England. You know, I know a couple of the Gloucester boys pretty well, so hopefully we get some decent support.